Well, hello.
Here we go.
Episode 13.
That makes a baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen. What's a baker's dozen?
Well,
13.
That's
Oh,
thanks, Tim.
okay. All right. Well, as long as we know that the just another word for 13 is baker's dozen, but we actually do know why, or at least I do. It's because the bakers used to throw you an extra every once in a while, like throw extra little Danish in there.
Well, was it a gesture of goodwill, or was it because just in case one goes bad, like
like one's crappy,
like,
or were they bad at counting?
If you buy a baker's dozen eggs, then there's a chance that one might be bad, and you can throw that one away, and you still get a dozen.
How do they make the 13 shape egg container?
I was actually going to ask the same thing.
Oh no, that was an example.
No, but
Not
it's
a
I
good
think
one.
it's funny. I think it would be funny if. See, I thought it was good. I would love to get 13 eggs instead of 12.
Just like one rubber banded to the top.
Yep.
Because usually
Tape
there's
to the
not a
side.
bad egg.
Yeah.
Although that's another saying. You're
Yeah.
a bad egg. Well, speaking of bad eggs,
Yeah. What?
that we're going back to this guy, and we've talked about him probably more than we should have. But that guy who threw away the COVID vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
I love the news that came out on him this week, and there were several headlines I saw that kind of attributed his whole entire behavior to one thing, and it said, "Wisconsin saboteur is a flat earther."
Yeah,
And
believes Earth is flat and the sky is not real.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But rather, it is a shield put up by the government to prevent individuals from seeing God.
Really?
okay.
Not quite how it works, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we know that.
I'm sure it's just atmosphere.
The flat earther thing has always just intrigued me because,
Yeah.
isn't there enough evidence at this point to know? I get it, when Columbus set out and they're like,
Right,
dude, you're
right.
going to sail off the end of the earth. It's flat like a map. But it's 2021 and we've been to space, although he probably doesn't believe that either. We've got satellites that have taken photos.
But see, that's all government. That's all cover-up.
Oh, every government.
There's a video out there from flat earthers doing some sort of experiment to prove that it's flat, and they actually prove the Earth is round. And they're like,
Oh, you mean they did what
they were-
ancient philosophers did?
I don't remember
centuries
exactly,
ago?
but yeah, they were trying to prove that it was flat, but then they
and the subject
Yeah.
and the test failed.
they proved it was round. So it's like,
Well, I'm going to go back to again, so you said, it's our government conspiracy, but this is the one thing that every government has agreed to get along with, like nuclear weapons, who started COVID. But no, we're all going to get together and create an alliance that the earth is round.
Yeah, this is actually one thing everyone agrees on.
It would be awesome if China still insisted that the earth was flat.
that would be interesting.
Pakistan,
Something like that. Yeah,
Just
where they're still an outlier.
Some random country.
Yeah,
Iran
Canada.
insists that earth is still
Canada.
flat.
I don't know why it's funny, but yeah, Canada.
What? Canada. Well, the Earth is still flat in Canada. So I just thought that was funny. That just totally explained that dude's entire mental intelligence. That he's a flat earther.
Am I the only one that finds it concerning that he ran a pharmacy for as long as he did?
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
he's just book smart. Let's just chalk it up to that.
When we
Still,
first talked
though.
about him, do pharmacists have to take a test or are they
They
licensed,
have-
right?
Oh, yeah.
it's like a doctorate basically.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
they're
PharmD.
MD.
Yeah,
So is that a test with an ongoing?
it's pretty.
Well, it's pretty
hard.
rigorous. You can't be
Yeah.
giving out drugs to anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm asking.
That makes you a drug dealer.
Well, yeah, actually, you can be giving out drugs to anybody, but most people charge. Yeah. So does he have to have continuing education training and what I'm wondering is did he pass his test 20 years ago and he was somewhat sane and now he's just nuts?
I doubt that they just let pharmacists slide through the system.
There's got to be
year
some
over
type
year.
of ongoing
Yeah.
training, but even that you're not testing. You just got to say I took 6 CEUs in geography and I insist the Earth is flat, but that covers it.
I mean, I guess you don't. Geography doesn't come into play in your job as a pharmacist.
I understand. But I'm just saying there had to be some type of telltale sign on something this guy did that they knew he was nuts.
It says pharmacy licenses are only valid for a few years, typically 2 or 3, and then they must be renewed.
Renewed
but you can renew them. In most states, you can renew them online in a few easy steps.
Well, of course you can.
So
okay, they make you count to 30 to make sure you can still count a pill and you can still read and not.
right, they don't ask you. If
And
the
I'm
Earth
not
is flat.
dismissing. I'm not dismissing pharmacists in any way, shape, or form. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, he thought the vaccine was microchipped, and that it would turn off people's birth control, and for the people that it didn't turn off their birth control, it'd make them infertile. So I mean, he just
Wow.
I don't know where he was on this.
He was married,
vaccine.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he had kids, I think, as well.
Do we have confirmation that they're real?
That his wife and kids are real?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, listen, he's clearly a nutcase. I'm going to just go back to a few backwards topics we've talked about.
Yeah.
The other thing is they've rolled out like phase 2 of the Wisconsin COVID vaccines, and did you guys see that mink farmers are on the list?
Oh, they're that high on the
We're
list,
back to
huh?
mink
Well,
farmers.
we talked about mink farmers a few episodes ago because mink could contract COVID, and
Right.
it was basically wiping out like the entire Wisconsin mink farming industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so Wisconsin put out the list. It's like age 65 and over, workers who work in retirement centers, and mink farmers, which, it's all, a dozen people in Wisconsin, but it's I'm sure they're on the list because the COVID can go to the mink like we talked about.
Right.
Yep. It's a big biosecurity risk. Said the immunization program manager of Wisconsin.
It also says that Wisconsin's top producer of mink pelts. So
Right.
Yeah, we did discuss that.
Discuss that.
Did we? I don't know that we ever declared we were the top producer of mink pelts. Did
I think we did.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to mess that up like we messed up the cheese lately and lose our number one ranking. So
Right.
let's get those guys vaccinated so we can keep making little baby minks without masks.
I'm not even upset that a mink is above me on that list.
Well, the mink itself isn't.
No, yeah,
the farmer is. Although it would be interesting if you had to vaccinate.
mink vaccines.
Yeah,
Little
like
mink,
hundreds of thousands of little tiny mink. And you know what? I wonder if the mink are concerned that they're getting microchipped and are going to be infertile.
Then we'd have more mink. Well, if the birth control didn't work.
Right.
Not the
Yeah.
I was
infertile
going to
part.
say,
Yeah.
infertile,
It's a little mink.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about rodents, which I think a mink, did we decide a mink was a rodent?
It is. It's like part of the weasel family.
Okay.
Badger family.
Okay.
They're all
Did
the
you
same.
guys see in Brown County some dude had 108 rodents, which I assume was for feeding his 52 pythons.
Yeah, they were taken from him, right?
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
52 pythons.
In somebody's house?
Yeah.
Was
and
it in a house?
It's
or was it in-
important.
where would you keep those?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. And
That's
one big
disgusting.
snake ball.
That is very
I-
disgusting.
It would stink in
It
there
would
so bad.
stink.
Yes.
My first job was in a pet store, and I had to clean the rat cages, and it's disgusting. That's just so gross.
I was in a pet store and did you have like snakes too?
yeah.
I think it's important to note too that the 52 ball python snakes were only 52 of 160 snakes.
Oh,
and rodents.
wait.
Oh
you're
wait, no,
kidding.
time out. Snakes and rodents. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, see, they grouped them.
Yeah,
Oh
52,
crap.
52 python snakes, 84 rats, 24 mice.
Jeez,
The
okay,
largest
there it is.
single-day animal seizure in the Green Bay Wisconsin Humane Society history.
Why do you need that many snakes? I'm assuming
He
selling
obviously
them.
was selling
Yeah,
them.
but
Where do you?
And I
get
assume
that
they were all
much?
like immature pythons and
It doesn't look like it.
aren't pythons like an invasive species at this point because there's like in Florida, don't you get paid to kill them?
Burmese or something. Burmese
Oh,
python
so there's
and-
only one
yeah,
certain
that's
type.
in Florida. They're huge. Some of them
Yeah.
are.
There's that dude on like Instagram or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's his name? But he's got millions of followers because he records him killing pythons, and there's like an invasive like iguana or some type of reptile down there he kills too.
Hmm.
Why can't I not think of his name? Python hunter, python cowboy or something like that. Yeah, I know.
Original.
Don't laugh. Shut up. But it's like python cowboy. Google python cowboy.
Okay.
I will not.
Am I? Just to be known, this is a work computer, and you guys heard Python Cowboy. Nope, it's a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Trapper Mike.
Is that the right one? Does he have like a bunch of YouTube followers? And
Yep.
What is the iguanas he's constantly shooting down there, or like I don't know what they are. They're like he holds up like dozens of reptiles by the tail that he pokes out of trees.
Invasive iguana. That's all it says.
So there's snakes and iguanas running all over in Florida, so much so that he can go out every day and kill some. Huh. Well,
And
obviously,
apparently in Green Bay too.
yeah, we need to get him up to Brown County. Well, if he did come all the way up from Florida to kill all those pythons for us, he could at least get a little road soldier going, according to some legislature I saw they're trying to poke through.
Yeah.
Did anybody see this?
I do not know about this.
It's something like I don't know who it was. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Tom Tiffany because he apparently is half nuts at this point. But he was suggesting cocktails to go. Like, to help support restaurants, you could pick up like a thing of spaghetti and meatballs and an old fashioned.
I guess this maybe shows my ignorance, but I thought you could already do that.
It was happening up here.
It was
A lot of
happening not
places
just
are-
up here either.
I mean-
Back from where I used to live, like especially during the pandemic, I heard of places that would do that. They would give to-goes with your order. It'd be you could order old fashions and you'd pick up your to-go box, and there was like a a paper cup like you get at a drive-through, whatever, with a lid on it.
I
take it
don't
home.
honestly care either way. I just think
Right.
it's kind of like, I get like if you don't want to cook at home, but like to mix a cocktail just seems a
know.
little different to me.
I wonder if our guy who has the second most DUIs knows that that you can get cocktails to go.
I'm
that
sure
would,
he knows.
That would streamline his process.
John Walker?
John
Yeah.
Walker, yeah.
We
yeah.
could call him up next week and ask him how he feels about cocktails to go. Something tells me I know his position.
I mean, think about picking up a pizza and you smell it and you can't wait to get home, and half the time you open up the box and you grab a slice and you munch on it.
And then you want the beer to wash it down.
Well, I'm just thinking that same thing's gonna happen if I got an old fashioned sitting right there.
It's too tempting.
Yeah.
This legislation already has nearly 40 co-sponsors.
Who sponsored it? Like, who was the?
David Steffen
Where's he from?
Howard.
Howard. So right outside of Green Bay.
Yeah.
Right?
It even says MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, has not been opposed to this legislation.
What?
Because they understand, as we understand it, as the businesses understand it. Whoa, this is definitely political talk here.
People are
That
understanding.
this is an opportunity for people to actually bring those alcoholic beverages home.
The drinks would require a tamper-evident seal that would be considered an open intoxicant if it's broken.
Okay.
So
I'm sure
they gotta
people
be
figure
sealed
out
One
a
of
way
those
around
little
that.
holographic stickers, like if you
Yeah,
get some
maybe.
expensive
Yep.
electronics where they can tell if you peeled it off. A tamper-resistant seal. Well, that opens up an opportunity for somebody to make knockoffs of the tamper-resistant seals, so you can
Yeah.
just have a whole roll of those in your car as needed.
Well, if a bar can get them, you can't. I mean, yeah.
Well, since we're talking about legislature, I think it was in the Capitol building. There was that statue that the Navy loaned to the state of Wisconsin of the Badger that came off the USS Wisconsin, and then they asked for it back. And now I think they decided that we could keep it. Was what I think I just read this morning.
Why would they want it back?
I couldn't figure that out either. Like, why do they care? They wanted it for a museum or something, but why do they honestly
I think
care?
I think it was something like the USS Wisconsin was being, there's a word for that, permanently docked. At
Decommissioned, but it's been decommissioned.
Well, installed at this museum, like it's going to be part of this museum, and I think they wanted the statue to go with the ship.
Is it made of copper?
It's made from
Brass
like
or
melted
copper? Oh.
pieces of the USS Wisconsin, I thought, or something like that.
Oh.
It's from melted down.
I was just wondering
something.
what the copper prices were at the time.
I
He's
wonder,
over here trying to scrap it.
why couldn't they just make a replica of it, either us or them?
Right.
If, I mean, I wouldn't know the difference.
I'm trying to find where it says that.
Yeah, I know they had asked for it back, and we originally asked if we could keep it a little longer, and I think they said yes. I thought I saw that this morning, but yeah.
How old is it? How long is I trying to find it?
I don't know any of the details on the statue itself, and if it's made from pieces of the actual USS Wisconsin, it is kind of cool. But I didn't think that doesn't sound right to me.
No, I don't.
either.
It's not made from it.
It was on it,
They want it to go with, so that they brought
Yeah,
the ship
right.
into
I
this
thought it
museum,
was
and they
made
want the Badger to.
but it had to be on the ship at one point, I'd assume, or no?
The statue, crafted from melted down cannon seized from Cuba during the
That's what it
Spanish-American
was. I
War,
knew it was some melted down something.
yeah, was affixed to the first USS Wisconsin prior to World War One.
There you go.
And the U.S. Naval Academy loaned it to the state in 1988 and has sat outside the governor's office since 1989.
The governor. You know what it's not sitting next to outside the governor's office?
A Christmas tree.
you got it.
It says that they're only it's only extended its stay for 2 more years, and beyond that, they don't know. So it's just a little loan extension.
So we either better get busy making a replica or start boxing it up.
Yep.
Takes the U.S. Postal Service about 2 years to send something now, so we should probably get that thing rolling. Talking about Madison, one thing, we're northern Wisconsiners, and typically we exceed the snowfall of Madison by like tenfold.
Yeah.
Except for this year. Did you guys see Madison just getting hammered? It's like record snow. Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
most in
pretty
10
much
years.
everywhere south of Wausau, it sounds like. Yeah.
South of 29, but that's not the Mason-Dixon
No.
line. No.
That's the snow line this winter, though, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
I
been
hate
getting
it.
hammered in the south, and then up here where we'd prefer it because we rely on it for tourism, nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's been a decade since southern Wisconsin has had this much snow.
This is the worst year up here that I can remember in a long time.
For lack of snow,
Yeah.
yeah, I would agree. And even cold hasn't been that cold in my opinion. There's only been a handful of days where it's been below zero.
That's okay with me.
This
I want
weekend,
snow.
I don't care either way.
Yeah.
Supposed to get snow and it's going to get cold. So
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Starting Thursday, right?
probably good. The Wisconsin hockey, something about did you guys see there's some news since we're talking about snow, something about the high school hockey teams that are supposed to be like the most vulnerable. Has anybody? Never mind. If nobody saw the article,
No, I did, and
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out why, and they did say that it had something to do with
Just because they're indoors
breathing?
or stagnant air.
Well, yeah. So the air above an indoor rink is stagnant, partly to minimize airflow over the ice so that it doesn't melt. And most rinks are lined with boards that are several feet high, so there's just no ventilation, air movement happening in that.
So like basketball, it's just different because I was wondering why hockey would be different
Yeah.
than. for
There's just
example,
more space. There's
basketball.
airflow. There's fans in the gym and things. So there's air moving around. But in hockey, they're trying to keep. They don't want the air moving around by the ice.
So why are they figuring this out now when the season's over? And has there been a bunch of COVID-related
Yeah,
stuff
they
from
said, like-
high school hockey?
Yeah, they said about 20% of all the games have been canceled or rescheduled this year in Wisconsin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know the Northland Pines hockey team did not reschedule any games, but I know that their goalie was on that list of people who needed to quarantine for 2 weeks. He didn't actually
contact
have it.
tracing, yeah.
So they had to throw some kid in the goal who'd never played goalie before for 2 games. So that was interesting. And they actually won. I want to say they won both of the games. At least one of them I know they won.
Nice.
Just keeping the other end.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Yeah, right? Well, so
are crazy.
this weekend I had a plan in mind. And that plan was going to involve cooking up brats and making the brat flavored soda like we had discussed for so long.
Yep.
So what I did is I grabbed some homemade brats from a local guy here who makes them.
Okay.
And by the way, they were delicious. So if anyone's looking for homemade brats and you live in northern Wisconsin, you want to track down a guy named Scott Swenson.
They're
because
awesome. I've
his,
had 'em.
His brats were very good.
Yeah.
So I bought these, cooked them up in some beer, and then I realized I probably shouldn't have cooked them in beer because I wanted the straight juice because otherwise we'd be drinking beer
Oh,
versus.
yeah.
But then I figured, well, that's fine because I still wanted to make brat grease chapstick.
Yep.
So all was not lost, except for I realized like no grease comes out of the brat while they're boiling in beer. It all comes out like once you toss them on the grill.
So you got to have like a catch.
Yeah,
system,
yeah.
yeah.
So I froze the brat juice. I boiled them in regardless because I was thinking I could maybe just scrape enough off to still make chapstick. But I failed. I barely even got like a teaspoon of grease off.
Just freeze it. Keep adding it up.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't I keep it? I'm an idiot.
I'm not sure.
I should have just, started a small collection like you do bacon grease.
Right.
You just keep pouring it in a container until it's full and then you...
Pretty soon you have enough for
Yep.
a tube of chapstick.
Well, bacon grease is more easy for chapstick. Maybe I should just make bacon grease chapstick.
You do bacon brat.
But then what I did since I failed on the brats is I jumped in to our freezer, and I hope like any good Wisconsin home, I had frozen rhubarb to get me through the winter. I had 12 cups of frozen rhubarb, and I thawed out 8 cups, and I made it into like a rhubarb mash. And then I drained that rhubarb juice, and I have for us
Oh boy.
rhubarb syrup that we're going to try to make.
Yeah, I noticed you showed up today with a soda stream.
I got a soda stream off of Facebook Marketplace. I told you I was going to do it, and I did. She was asking $60 new in the box, which I wasn't going to drop $60. I got her down to $35 for the soda stream.
Nice. Good.
Picked
good
it up on
haggling.
Saturday. Yep. And we're going to make. I don't know if this is going to make good podcasting. You guys may have to talk
we'll
about
talk
what I'm
through
doing.
it. Well,
Yeah.
I have questions about this while,
Yeah,
while you're
Carrie,
beginning
go
here.
ahead.
Well, you
you
can
can
start
start.
it
You want
and
me to
then-
start?
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
Is that exactly how the juice came out? Was it already that red, or did you add food coloring?
I added nothing to it that is other than sugar. That is 100%. The only 2 ingredients in this are rhubarb, 8 cups of rhubarb, and a cup and a half of sugar. Okay?
Huh.
That's the only thing. And let me keep talking about this actually. So the rhubarb mash, the leftover from this, I could not throw out. It was it was so tasty, but it looked so gross. But I don't know what to do with it. Could you put it on ice cream or
Sure.
fried
Add
in
sugar to
patties?
it and-
Maybe I'm wondering if I could
Could bake
smash
something with it.
and dehydrate it and make rhubarb roll-ups. That was my thought.
Ah.
Would there be enough flavors left over in it?
Oh hell to the yeah! It was tasty.
Darn tootin'.
Yeah. So if you guys want me to, I will try and make rhubarb roll-ups for us in my dehydrator.
Now, is everyone here a fan of rhubarb?
Now I am. When I was younger, I hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Andy?
It's got to have a lot of sugar in it.
Sure. I'm not a huge fan of it either. Like, I can stand like rhubarb strawberry dessert, stuff like that, but it's not my favorite
Yeah.
at all.
I chewed on it raw out of the garden when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not all there, so.
I am not all there, especially now.
Well, let's get her going here.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you guys talk through this, so I'm gonna get her moving.
Yep.
Keep her moving.
Rhubarb to me is kind of like cranberries. It's like I understand why they're out there, but I don't personally really have a purpose for it.
Can you
I don't-
Google where
My wife loves it.
where Wisconsin is in rhubarb production?
Oh, yeah.
The only ones
I feel
believe.
like every single homestead across the state of Wisconsin has a random rhubarb plant
Yeah.
somewhere
Oh, yeah.
by their
Yeah,
house.
it's just a
Whether you
wild
planted it or
bush
not,
growing,
it's there. Yeah.
yeah.
My old house had it.
What about asparagus?
We had it grow. We had
Yeah.
asparagus growing up. I hate it though. It's,
Same
I think
kind of
it's
thing.
Oh, I
Just
love
a
it.
Wild.
Oh,
I absolutely love asparagus, but where I lived 3 hours south of here, I mean, you could go down like any county highway, and it was wild in the ditch everywhere. In the spring, we could just walk through ditches and pick bundles and bundles of asparagus. Don't see that much.
All
up
right, so
here.
we have the carbonated water, and oh, I see. We're gonna
Is that easy?
we're gonna funnel some
That's
syrup
it.
in.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get the syrup in here without spilling it all over the table.
Oh, that is very satisfying looking.
Yeah, I really like that.
Oh, she's fizzing up.
Oh.
You're gonna add more.
We have a bit of an overflow.
Because
That's a beautiful color.
I think the problem I'm gonna have is that there's too much sugar but not enough rhubarb.
Oh.
Boy, we're having some problems here.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like it should come out of a Jolly Good can.
Sure does.
Well, that said, Jolly Good was going to do this, but I just figured, like, why not we try first?
I'm
I don't know
guessing
how much
Jolly
else to put
Good
in.
could
Does
do
anybody
it
have a
better.
feeling, like, does that?
I feel like you put too much in.
Ooh,
No,
I
I
won't
feel
say
like
that
the more
either.
the better.
I feel like I should go one more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would have said probably close to a 50-50 mix, but
Yeah,
I want it
disagree.
sweet, yeah.
I'm going heavier.
I mean, I don't want just like carbonated soda, nothing here.
I don't-
well, why don't you pour out a little bit of that right now and give it to Eric, as it is,
Okay.
and then he can try it as it is, and he can determine, and then we'll have
you doing
room.
now?
We'll have more
Oh
room.
God,
to,
be careful.
Just chill out.
All right.
Okay.
We're mixing.
Don't worry,
the
we watched the
soda now.
instructions yesterday.
Jeff is pouring it into a glass. Looks very
I'm just going to
satisfying.
give you enough to, because we don't have anything to cleanse your palate, like
It has a
cracker
light
or
pink
anything.
He's got a LaCroix.
Yeah, I got LaCroix.
Down the hatch.
It's pretty good.
Ooh.
Wow, we have a pretty
It's-
good.
Are you saying
And a
leave it as
satisfied
is,
face.
or
It's not super sweet.
Add a little more.
More,
I would-
more. More syrup.
I don't agree with Andy though in the 50-50 mix. I
No,
think that
okay,
would be
all right,
that's
all right.
that's a little insane.
Can we
Gosh, that's a nice color.
Can we have our in-house Karen try this? Not tell us and then write a review for it. It can be nice or it can be Karen-esque, but I want to know. Ooh, that's a nice color.
can Eric send his glass back?
All right.
I don't want anyone to taste this until
Until Eric approves.
Eric says it's correct.
Okay.
You guys are going on my palate alone is kind of
Well,
scary.
you got a good palate.
I wouldn't call it sophisticated, but good.
Did you notice how he took a sip of air with that, just
Yeah,
like wine?
he did. Yeah,
I would say just a little more.
Okay. All right.
a bit more.
I like where you're going.
Just a tad.
I like where you're going.
We're at about a half jar, so that means we can do a whole nother batch.
I like all this syrup. What's on Elf? What's the four food groups?
Oh man, it's like
It's
candy
candy-
canes,
ca-
candy
candy
canes,
co-
maple syrup,
Candy corn.
candy corn, and
Well, syrup is I think is one of the categories, and I kind of feel like we're just dump syrup and coffee.
Can you? I actually I don't want to know. Don't say anything.
Okay.
I want to know. No, I'm saying he, because I have a lot of questions about this because I've been waiting patiently to, Is it carbonated?
yeah, oh yeah, it's very carbonated.
This is going to
yeah.
open up a lot of possibilities
It's
for
candy,
us.
candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
Eric?
Oh, refill.
Yep. I have a feeling this is horrible radio.
Yeah, but the YouTube might be okay. Eric, thoughts?
I like it, but we're starting to lose carbonation
Oh boy.
because you keep opening, closing,
Yeah.
opening,
Yep,
closing.
yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's.
I mean, this is the first batch. Now, next time we know just to pour the rest of the jar in
Yeah,
Okay.
one go around.
I would say go with that. Just Go with that.
Everybody try it.
All right, I'm looking forward to this.
can always- too, actually.
Yeah, I think Tim is right on the money because
So
you're
this
almost
is
at a 50%
rhubarb soda.
This is homemade
Homemade.
rhubarb soda.
Thanks to
homemade.
Facebook Marketplace.
Homemade.
Can you guys just wait for me?
Here we are.
Oh,
smelling.
sure.
Smelling.
Should we do
I
a
think
do a
we can
cheers?
cheer. Yep.
Oh, give
Yeah.
me some more, please. And thank you.
It just has a beautiful color tone to it. Yeah.
All natural.
Air
Where's
cheers.
the rhubarb from?
Rhubarb. From my my mother's garden. Oh,
It's really good.
tastes like rhubarb.
Super sweet.
Yeah, I think we could have gone back a little.
I don't know. I like it.
It tastes like rhubarb.
This is one of the best rhubarb tasting
Yeah, no
things I've
kidding.
ever
I agree with that.
experienced.
I agree with
Coming
that.
from a
Hold on,
not rhubarb
hold on,
person.
Hold on.
What's now? What are you doing?
Because I thought it was a hair too sweet.
Oh,
So I had a little bit of that concocted water still.
I feel like if you mash strawberries in it too, it could just really be something. You
I
can
think it
make
would be too sweet
variations.
with strawberries. I might have went too heavy on the sugar. Did I go too heavy on the sugar,
No,
maybe?
I like it.
it's very sweet.
I don't know that that's a positive, though.
I don't think
Maybe
it's-
just a tiny bit too much sugar, but you're not far off.
Did I put too much sugar in it, or do I have just too much syrup in the thing?
I mean, it's hard to gauge, but I don't think it's.
I'm
far,
impressed.
I don't think
I
it's
think-
far off of
Yeah.
what a Jolly Good sweetness would be.
I hate to tell you, I can't believe how fucking good this
Yeah,
is.
I can't for a
I
for a
hate to
trial
tell you,
run.
but you mix that in vodka, and you got a whole bar
Oh,
idea in Wisconsin.
man,
that
you're
would
right.
people would buy that, man.
You're right.
Am I onto something here?
Yeah.
Is this a better or worse idea than Slim Saucy hot sauce?
Equal.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, people drinking vodka cranberries are gonna die over this.
Yeah. This would be a.
Oh, I think it's better. Just a little bit of water went a long way. I cannot believe how good this is. Something tells me the brat one wouldn't have been this good.
Maybe mixed.
Maybe mixed with this?
Yeah.
Or mixed with a little ketchup and mustard? Wow.
I agree. I think the water helped a little bit.
Let's bring Karen down here and give her a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. A shot, literally.
Yeah. Hey, Karen. Can somebody
Karen.
grab Karen for us?
Hey, Karen.
Karen's here. You want to try some rhubarb soda, Karen?
Homemade.
I got one.
What if I told you I was not a fan of rhubarb?
Well,
I'm
neither
not
was
either.
Tim.
I'm not either.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Do you like sugar?
Let her do a Karen review on it.
Deliver.
Yep. Here.
What's your review on that soda?
Live review.
Way too sweet.
Oh, just like a Karen.
In true Karen
And we always said
form.
she wasn't like a real Karen.
I mean, I appreciate
She
her
just gave
honesty,
us
but
a bad face and said way too sweet. She is Karen. Well, can we water it down for her somehow?
Just shattered
Way
my
too
little heart.
sweet. Did you get the rhubarb taste? Get back here.
We could get her. We could
you
make
don't
a
just
diet
Karen
version.
and bail.
Did you get the rhubarb taste?
Yeah, now I have an upset stomach, to be honest.
Oh my gosh!
We'll call you back when we're ready for you.
If that ever happens.
Yeah. No. I always stood up for her.
Well, she was. Let's do our real review while she's
Should
over
we,
here.
as long as
Yeah.
Karen, you want to come back and do your real review? We need you. I take back everything I said. So just hold on. I got to give you your intro. We talked about Lake Geneva last week and their
'Cause
ice
of the ice
sculptures.
castles, yep.
So I went to the Coffee Mill, which is a coffee shop in Fontana, Wisconsin, which is on Lake Geneva.
Okay.
The Coffee Mill is 4.7 stars, damn near perfect, 244 reviews.
Sounds like a nice place.
Welcome, Karen.
Super charming, cozy, and comfortable coffee house with lots of indoor and outdoor seating.
All right, starting good.
Very kind staff and great atmosphere. They support local, too. Muffins are baked locally and brought in 2 times per week, I was told. They look amazing. But I must have received an old one as it was very dry and dense, and there was no offer to warm it. Iced mocha was perfect in the amount of chocolate and sweetness, but too bitter and burnt tasting for my palate. Had an upset stomach in minutes, and my purchase of both was not consumed. Super bummed.
This sounds like a continuation of her soda review.
It does. It started off so pleasant. I was like really into the place.
Karen, were you at the coffee mill?
Do they have rhubarb soda there?
Well, I have 2 comments on this one. Number 1, like I thought, isn't there some type of ointment they make for a dry muffin?
No.
To take care of that?
That was an SNL skit with Betty White. Do you remember the thing? It was
No.
Dusty Muffins or
And happy birthday,
I'll
Betty
have
White,
to look that
belated.
up.
99
And then
now.
I feel like this woman has a split personality.
Yeah.
Because she's like, love this place, super charming, super cozy, perfect amount of chocolate, was bitter and nasty.
I like the really sweet, too bitter.
Yeah, and it's like, they buy their muffins locally, great place, they come in fresh twice a week, too dry, they didn't warm it. But, well, I guess that's all I have for this week.
yeah, very roller coaster review, up and down.
Yeah, it was up and down. I enjoyed everything we did. Well, I don't know that we need to taste the straight up syrup since we got the.
No,
I was going to have
no.
people jump into that, but
I will ask if anyone else has soda ideas to please pass them along now that we have this awesome soda stream. Because this is just fun for us.
well, I want to say that our sponsor ruggedgear.com donated the soda stream, so
Very nice of them.
I sure appreciate that.
And I see you guys got Rugged Gear shirts on today.
We got our Rugged
do.
Gear
Nice,
shirts
nice.
on,
Oh.
and we did get Jolly Good's blessing to try some flavors, and
All
know,
right.
in the meat, until COVID's over, we can't get down to that Jolly Good factory to do our own. But since we got to jump on it, I'll share the recipe with them.
Sounds good.
All natural ingredients, rhubarb, and well, is sugar natural? I guess yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I don't know that I feel real good about saying all natural ingredients when I got a cup and a half of sugar. Although we only used half of it, so technically we only have 3/4 of a cup of sugar.
Yeah.
in
Right,
this-
right.
In this
Gosh,
less
that's
than
good.
1 liter.
That's so good.
I really like it.
You're a fan of it. huh?
Big fan.
You don't know how much that pleases me.
Yeah.
And this wasn't a lot of work. It took me less than 20 minutes from start to finish to probably make that rhubarb syrup.
I seriously cannot believe this is not a thing already. Rhubarb is not like an uncommon flavor.
Well, did we? Okay, I thought we were gonna end this here.
Oh,
but
did you-
Yeah. Where is the rhubarb capital, and where is it? Is it everywhere?
I didn't find anything.
No.
'Cause I got distracted with the soda. I'm sorry.
My guess is rhubarb likes our climate, so
Sure.
it probably only grows in areas like this. No, it's a weed. Let's be real. It grows everywhere.
Right. Here, rhubarb capital of the world.
If there's no rhubarb capital of the world, 3 Lakes is going to be it by next summer.
Sumner.
It does like our climate because
Sumner.
it can survive through the cold winters.
Where? What's the rhubarb capital? Sorry, Eric. Andy? You said it likes our climate.
Yep. That's as far as I got.
Is there no rhubarb capital of the world? Because if they're not, somebody's
Sumner.
missing.
Sumner is, but I can't figure out
Sumner where?
I don't
Sumner?
know. I don't know. It literally just says Sumner and now it won't load.
Sumner here, Sumner
Washington.
there. Okay.
Washington.
They're the
They're the rhubarb pie capital
Oh.
of the world.
Oh.
I think we jump on just straight up rhubarb capital of the world. Rhubarb Fest is scheduled tentatively
Okay.
for July 2021.
Featuring rhubarb soda.
Rhubarb
Oh,
soda,
boy.
rhubarb chutney, rhubarb crisp, rhubarb pie, rhubarb.
You've been looking for something to be.
You know I have.
the capital of the.
Yeah. This is it.
There's a thing called the rhubarb triangle. It's
I'm not into
It's
that.
in England.
Is it like the Bermuda Triangle?
It's in England,
You go into it and you get lost.
and they force rhubarb to grow.
What do you mean?
What?
They yell at it until
Yeah.
it.
Famous for early forced rhubarb. No, they like.
So they just like put grow lights and stuff on it?
No,
and,
they like grow it inside like sheds, and
Yeah.
they kind of they
So like mushrooms.
sorta. So rhubarb is a mushroom now.
I honestly wouldn't rhubarb fest. I think that would kind of be cool.
I agree.
I agree too.
Maybe down to Cheezehole sponsors Rhubarb Fest. And because there is a lot of stuff you can make out of rhubarb. Who'da thunk
Yeah.
that you could make rhubarb soda? There's rhubarb wine.
Our winery does, yeah.
Sour beers. Oh, with
we
rhubarb.
should make a rhubarb beer. I still have all the beer stuff.
Dude.
Just a hint of rhubarb flavor.
We are going to be
Can you
rhubarb
This is an idea that's worth hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds.
of
At
dollars.
least. Well,
All right.
on that note, I guess.
We can't end on any higher note.
There is a rhubarb fest in Osceola, Wisconsin.
What?
Yep. I'll click on.
When
it.
was the last time they had it, and how can we take it from
I'm
them?
looking it up.
Probably not in 2020.
Where's
No.
Osceola?
It's
By Fairchild.
no, that's Osseo.
Oh.
Osceola is like right on the border of
No, it's right next
Minnesota.
to Areola. Aren't they twin
Oh
cities?
heavens!
Oh man.
No.
That's my juvenile humor right there. I found that
Well,
really funny.
I'm sorry, where was it? 'Cause
Unlike that comment, Rhubarb Fest is fun for the whole family. It is. It's going to be June 12th, 2021, at Mill Pond Park in Osceola.
Where is Osceola again?
It's right on the border. It's on the west side of Wisconsin.
Every good idea is
Yeah.
taken.
Can we just consider it Minnesota, so Wisconsin, we can have our
Does
own
it
up
say
here.
how many people Rhubarb Fest draws?
You know, they don't have a website for it. This seems like something we could take over.
Amateur hour.
We
But
could
we
do.
could do
we
better?
we could do better. Yeah.
Okay. I guess since you brought up Rhubarb Fest, I saw Park Falls has Tortoise Day.
That's today.
oh, it's today.
It's the same thing as because today's Groundhog's Day, right? Is that am I right?
Yeah.
about
Who can
that?
attend
Yeah,
such a
and
fun
it's-
thing on a Tuesday?
And it's the same thing. So like they get this turtle,
and if he sticks his
this
head
turtle
out,
named Spike. Yep. And if the tortoise can continue, it's basically like a Groundhog Day with a turtle in Park Falls.
I think that's a good idea. I like that. Another one I'm jealous of. So if the tortoise stays in his shell, you have
He has a 100% accuracy rating.
how many? They did it last year for the first time. What is it? Am I right? If he pokes his head out just like the groundhog,
I
then
don't.
it's-
I'm trying.
I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, it's not very original. You can just grab any animal and shove it in a box and say if it comes out. Then
Well, yeah, but the turtle is a little
Yeah.
bit like because he's in his own little shell.
do it with a slug or a snail then,
Wow,
or hermit
you
crab.
seem bitter.
I'm sorry. Unlike the soda, which is sweet and good.
But then also on the west side of the state, the Hudson Hot Air Affair. They're doing hot air balloons next weekend.
Wausau does a big
or
thing
this
like
weekend.
that too, don't they?
Hot air
Yeah.
balloon and -8.
I cannot believe how good this rhubarb freaking soda
We
is.
make the other batch.
Yeah, right? Well, everybody please keep their rhubarb for us this year. We're going to need it when we mass produce this.
Yep.
All right. To rhubarb.
To rhubarb.
Cheers.
To rhubarb.